Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Dona Kappmeyer, and I am the CEO and firm owner of Capital Game Plan Consulting and Action Coach in South Texas. And I'm going to be your host for today. I am very excited to have our special guest, Kadari Johnson, on our show. Kadari is a president of Estacado Construction and co-founder and president of RWD Construction in San Antonio. Today, we're going to speak with Kadari about his journey to get to where he's at today and the challenges and successes of owning and operating a business. If this is your first time on our channel, please be sure to like and subscribe so you can get notifications when we publish new content. Well, Kadari, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
You bet. This is going to be fun. So let's
Yes,
talk a
ma'am.
little bit about your business. So tell me a little bit about how your business is structured.
Yes, ma'am. So RWD, quick backstory on RWD itself. It was founded in 2022 with my partner Miles and I. We actually started out of our college dorm. We definitely wanted to get into a business. We were still in school at the time at UTSA, but we weren't too sure what we wanted to get into. And at the time, this is when I just started getting into I was pretty fresh onto construction as a whole. So I was working while going to school and attending UTSA. Started at a residential home builder. So we knew construction was the arm that we wanted to go into. Miles was in finance. It was his final year playing football. We both played football at UTSA. And we started off pressure washing, and pressure washing was our jumpsuit into doing what we do now, but at the time it was Roadrunner Washing LLC. And then once we transitioned over into the commercial construction route, we finally said, hey, you know what, we can be general contractors on a smaller suit of things. And we started doing small work as general contractors. And Estacado Construction was actually founded last year in 2024 by a different group of guys. They needed some help on the private side. And so we basically kind of got together and said, hey, we can do both RWD and Estacado construction. Estacado serves on the private end of things, RWD serves on the public end of things. So we go back and forth between public work and private work.
So go runners for one. It's a bit of a shift to like say, okay, I'm starting pressure washing and I'm on residential and now I'm going to shift commercial. What was that kind of aha moment where you decided to pivot?
It's when we jumped into the commercial route. When I was at my residential job, I think what I wanted to do, me personally, was go into the commercial side of things. I thought it was way more interesting to be a part of, building something that a lot of people go through every day, whether it be restaurants, healthcare, government entities. I always looked at it and said, hey, like, thousands of people walk in and out. That would be so cool to say that we built this structure. And so a close friend of ours kind of reached out to him and I said, hey, I have a kinesiology degree, but it's very tough to get into the commercial route with a kinesiology degree. I don't have any experience. And so he luckily he helped me out, knew some guys and, donors from UTSA kind of got me in the door there. One of my previous firms that I worked with got me into the commercial route. And once we started doing work there and me being a project manager over there, I was definitely like, this is something that I would love to do one day, on our own. Super fun. Talked to Miles about it. He was all for it. And went from the finance route to the construction route. So that's basically how we transitioned there. But it's been a journey for sure. And having to learn a lot, not coming from much experience or education. So it's taken a lot of time and hours to kind of get caught up to speed. So
Love that. Thank you for sharing. So two different companies, two different target markets. Can you dive in a little bit more about who would you consider your ideal customer in both of those companies?
yes, ma'am. So RWD, we partner with a lot of the bigger general contractors here in town for projects and I guess companies like City of San Antonio, higher education, K through 12, those type of public jobs. We partner with the bigger general contractors are either on a joint venture or we do subcontracting work. So RWD, we do have all of our certifications, our SWIMBY, so small business, minority owned, African American Business Enterprise. And I know a lot of those projects require those certifications. So to help these general contractors reach those criterias, that's what RWD basically does. And then Estacado construction, it is strictly private. We do a lot of industrial work, a little bit of tenant improvements on the retail side and the commercial side. But a lot of the work that we do is with more smaller companies, but we also do big credit tenant as well. And we kind of serve mostly San Antonio, but we have projects in Corpus Christi, have projects in outside of Austin, Texas. So yes, ma'am, just strictly industrial for the most part. We partner with a commercial real estate company here in town that kind of feeds us, these tenants and these sellers and buyers that want to get construction done.
Very nice. So we often talk about differentiation and uniqueness. So what makes your businesses unique, and why would people want to do business with you?
What makes our business unique is it's funny you asked that question. When I joined the construction industry, I had a close source to me tell me before I got into it, hey, just know that you are entering an industry that is known for high stress levels. A lot of the guys are not really happy. It's a lot of cuss words flying everywhere on the job sites. Just a lot of guys aren't in great moods. And I asked the question, well, why is that? And the question couldn't be answered at the time, but once I got into it, I kind of understood that scheduling, making guys work extra hours that they don't need to, just a lot of things that didn't have a lot of coordination. And, a lot of people's feelings and I guess emotions weren't really heard. And so when I got into it and you kind of put the team aspect into it, being a previous athlete at UTSA, everything's about the team, the team, the team.
Hmm.
And everybody has one common goal and drive in order to get things done. And, everybody wants to go, to the job sites, do their job, make it home on time, go see their families, and obviously get paid. And so our approach is we want to be team players, and that's with subcontractors, that's with owners, that's with our internal staff. We're all about the team, and our communication is the number one thing. That's what you have to have in this industry. And so what makes us different is our communication. We harp on communication. We harp on quality. We harp on, safety to make sure guys are going home safe. That's what we care about. And so we also are very fair. If there's an issue at the job site, we're going to hear you out. We're going to try to tackle the problem and come with common ground. So I think we are super fair to everybody that's a part of the project. Everybody has a piece of it. I mean, they're making history. So our biggest thing is just being super big team players.
You know, in the industry you're in, right? There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of it's always been this way, right? You're always at the mercy of the contractors not showing up, and nobody ever says or gets in trouble for over communicating. So it sounds like you kind of cracked that code, if you will, about communication, because the worst thing is how come they didn't show up? I don't know. Where are they at? I don't know. It sounds like you have that kind of figured out and have baked that into your business model.
Yes, ma'am. It goes with vetting as well. I mean, we do our homework and, try to see who's the better contractors and, who shows up on time. And just if they have, a supporting staff with them. There's a lot of guys out here that are very good at what they do, but they are a one-man team. And so they do the labor, they're doing the admin, they're doing emails, and it's extremely hard for them to keep up with everything. And so it's extremely important for us to, vet the contractors and make sure that they have a supporting staff so it's easier for them and it's easier for us in the long run as well. It helps everybody out. So I think communication is the biggest thing. It is one of the things that the industry lacks. And if you have great communication, I mean, the job site's going to go well. I mean, from our end to the owner, from the subcontractors to the general contractors, from our internal staff, if we communicate, it's hard for things to kind of slip. And having weekly meetings with everybody and kind of hearing everybody's, I guess, concerns or what they're going to tackle for the week. It's super important, and it makes everything go way more efficiently.
Oh, you bet. 100%.
Mhm.
So what is one thing that you wish more people knew about your businesses or your industry?
That's a great question. I think um, specifically to kind of want to answer that to the athletes. And when I was in school at UTSA, I mean, when you drive by a construction site, you don't really think much of it if you're not in the industry or not super
Hmm.
familiar. So you just think it's a bunch of guys out there, just building something, but there's a whole business aspect to it. And I think construction, people don't understand how much of a team effort it is. And it kind of reminds me of a sports team. It reminds me of a football team specifically. Your subcontractors are your offensive linemen, your wide receivers, running backs. The general contractor, I would say, is more like the coach. And so, but you have to report to the athletic director for the committee, whoever it may be. And so everything is about a team. The coach can't do without the players can't do without the coach. Everybody has to be together, and it's fun. I mean, if you guys are doing everything efficiently, and you guys are communicating, and you see that, and I'm going to relate it to sports. You see that in sports, like, I mean, it's going to be tough love, but it's all communication and being 100% authentic to each other. And so I would think that from outside looking in to kind of tell people about construction, it's like it's super fun. You meet a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds, and they're here to have one common goal. And so I would think that if you wanted to be in a super big team environment and make a super big impact, construction is your place to be.
Love that. And what a great analogy. I mean, I don't know that you can get much better than that.
Mhm.
Well said. So
Absolutely.
with y'all being relatively new to the industry, what marketing have you found to be most effective for your business?
We're still working on the marketing. Right now, the biggest thing that we can do is talk to the client, and have little brochures, and kind of go to different events. I think the biggest thing that we've been doing right now is networking, as far as
Okay.
jumping in organizations, AGC, jumping in with the Metro San Antonio Chamber, um, meeting people who are heavily involved with UTSA, that have their own business or maybe their own general contracting business, kind of communicating there, and just letting people understand who we are, that we are super 100% authentic people. We understand teamwork. We understand what it takes to win and succeed. I mean, you're going to have your losses here and there, but we're willing to stick it through. We're big, coachable, human beings, and if there's concerns, you can let us know. But the biggest thing for sure right now is just going out and networking. But we do need, to put some more into our marketing, which we're currently working on. So.
Very good. You know, it boils down to those relationships and building them and that know, like, and trust.
Mhm.
So well done in doing that networking. Let's talk a little bit about goal setting. So where do you see your companies, where are you headed? Where do you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years?
The next 3 to 5 years, we definitely want to grow. We want to make a huge impact in San Antonio. The one thing that Miles harps on, which is part of our mission statement, is strongly shaping our communities. He's 100% big on giving back to the university, giving back to the city, that a city that wants to grow. And so we want to make a huge impact. It's not just about growth internally as far as dollar signs and the amount of people that's on the team. We want to make an impact within San Antonio. And so
Mhm.
in 3 to 5 years, we want to be able to say, we helped shape the community. But also within San Antonio, within our Estacado department, I mean, we also want to start shaping communities in Austin, and in more in Corpus Christi. And so we definitely will be growing. Just trying to strategize there. However, the biggest thing for us is just making an impact. But in building a team that has great core values, great communication, and kind of want to get on the bus with us and take this thing to the next level.
Very good. So speaking of the bus, right, part of that is expanding out, core San Antonio, expanding out into other communities, kind of what is your approach to hiring, recruiting, and retaining good talent?
Yes, ma'am. So the biggest, I mean, we do use LinkedIn for a job sourcing. However, our biggest thing is finding guys who is a reference. If we know someone that's a great human being and they say, hey, so and so is looking for a job, even if these guys don't have much experience, because I mean, I came into the industry with zero experience, but if you're
Mhm.
willing to learn and you're super hungry, we're willing to take you on board and we can make you put you where it fits. I know we do need some experienced guys and we do have some experienced guys as far as putting together resumes and whatnot to go after these projects. Um, but usually they're referrals as of now. But super skill positions, we will post on LinkedIn. So,
Very good.
mhm.
So if you could, I guess, kind of capture what does success mean to you in a word or in a phrase or in a paragraph, whatever that looks like. What would you define as success?
Um, that's a pretty deep question. I think success, it's willing. Success is about consistency. I mean, taking one day at a time, leaving it all out on the table every single day, whether it may be business related, whether it may be outside of work, spiritually. Everybody's definition of success is different. However, for me, it's going all out every single day, um, on all three aspects of my life, which is, work and business, health and fitness, and then spiritual. And so those are my focus. And if I can do I'm sorry, if I could take it one day at a time and go all out on all three of those things, then that's a success to me. And it's just building blocks and, doing that for the previous 3 to 4 years. Has led to where we are now. Um, and so I believe that's how success for myself is, I guess, goes in my head. Sorry about that. So
No, you're good. That's fantastic. Thank you. That comes from the heart.
absolutely.
Based on, your successes and your challenges, if there was one piece of advice you could give to our audience today, what would that be?
I would say work as hard as you can. Read books, be extremely knowledgeable, ask a lot of questions, have mentors, especially with, the younger generation. I can definitely speak to them, being 27 years old myself, um, is we have a stigma already coming out that, we don't work as hard or, we want big work-life balance. And so my biggest thing is just work extremely hard, ask a lot of questions. I mean, there's a lot of people out here with a lot of information, and can point you in the right direction. And so that's what I try to tell my siblings and try to tell, people that are younger than me as well. It's just like take it one day at a time. You're not going to learn everything in a week or two. It's going to take months, and then try to diversify your knowledge, whether it may be in what you're doing now, but also in different industries, and kind of take that and roll with it. And, it helps make decisions in the long run. And so I guess stay focused on what you need to be focused on and just continue to progress. So,
Good deal. Thank you for that.
mhm.
What other information would you like for our audience to know about you or your business?
Um, I guess we are a fresh business. One thing that um, we are, I guess, so it's myself, it's Miles and Chad. And so we are younger. We don't, in our industry, there's not really a lot of youth. It's more so. people that's been in the industry for some time. And
Mhm.
so, but we are extremely hungry. Miles does the finance and accounting, and Chad does the operations on the day-to-day basis. And so we are an extremely hungry company, and we are willing to learn and we are willing to grow. And, with the clients that we work with, we're willing to give it everything that we have and, make a product that you guys are envisioning in your head. So, um, super hungry individual, and we want to change San Antonio for sure. I know San Antonio, a lot of the city wants to keep it blue collar. Another half of the city wants to turn it into a more white collar city, with the whole Spurs arena and whatnot. I know there was a
Mhm.
pretty tight vote there. But
Yeah,
we want to see the city grow, and we're here to make a change. And like I said earlier, just really shape the community. I mean, we care a lot about San Antonio.
you bet. Fantastic. What's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
best way for people to get a hold of you?
The best way for sure is through LinkedIn, or email or phone call. However, my number's out there somewhere, but for sure LinkedIn. That's the best way for sure. Whether it's a message or if you want to send email, either works. So
Oh, do you want to share that email or that phone number to our audience?
yes, I could put it on there. It's going to be my first name, Kadari, Kadari, at rwdconstructiontx.com.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, Kadari, thank you for sharing your story. This has been fantastic. And I know that our audience is going to find this information very valuable and informative, especially coming from new owners, if you will, in a new environment. This is the Business Spotlight series with Dona Kappmeyer from Capital Gain Plan Consulting, along with Kadari Johnson with Estacado and RWD Construction. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you can continue to see our great content. Thank you for being with us today. Kadari, thank you so much for being on our show.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me on here.
Yes, sir. Bye for now.